Hi everybody, this is Caroline Sotheby and welcome to Up, Down, and Around Town. Well, I hope you're keeping warm. The only good thing we can say about this area, we got some sunshine for 3 days, and keep our fingers crossed that it'll get a little bit warmer along the way. Anyway, managed to get a guest here who, back in December when it was nice and warm, she said she did a painting, and I put it on the show a couple times already. It's the one where Santa Claus is with his reindeer, and yeah, there it is on the American Legion window that oversees the Detroit River. You can see the fishing pier over there too. And okay, while I was there that one time, there were people who were trying to figure out the names of all of those reindeer, and it was a joke. But then they said, "Oh yeah, there's Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer." So, and of course, it was a little closer shot of that. And then on the side window, you went on and did some other Christmas decorating, which to me was, breathtaking. For the simple reason, we usually just see water, snow through those windows, and this time it was a little different, and I just finally had a chance to meet her, and she is Peggy Hernandez?
Hernandez.
Okay.
Yes.
Hey, welcome, gal.
Thank you.
When you painted that, did you have an idea beforehand what you were going to really do? You just looked at the windows and what?
Well, actually, I got the call. Mark told me exactly what he wanted.
Okay.
I met with him there because I wanted to see the scope of how big the windows were, and he wanted the windows that face the water.
Uh-huh.
Each window representing one thing in his mind. He wanted Santa in one, then he wanted reindeer, and then Rudolph in the last one. So I said, okay. So I'm thinking, if it's going to take up the whole window, it's going to be big. And then I thought, well, look at the view, the people that sit here and look out at the water. I'm going to obstruct their view of the water. So should I make it big? And he said, yes, make it big. It's for our Christmas celebration, and we want to keep the theme for the month of December.
Uh-huh.
So, but that was the second time I met with Mark. The first time he called me, he said, I just want you to paint the Christmas tree because we're going to have a Christmas party for the members' families, and we don't have room for a tree, so that's why we painted on the window.
Okay.
So I did that one, and then after that, he asked me to come back and do the windows. So I went, and it was a 3-day job. I did a little bit each day, a little bit. And I had to do some research about the reindeer, and as the members were there watching me set up and all that, and kind of wondering, what am I doing? I didn't want to interrupt their conversations, but I drew it out with like a wax pencil to try to get an idea of the scope. And so they were watching me, and, I wonder what that's going to be. Oh, I know. And so it was generating conversation among the members, too. And then when it came to the windows with the reindeer, I'm thinking, okay, how many are there? Off the top of my head, how many are there? So I'm trying to sing the song in my head, how many? And then Rudolph, so I have a granddaughter who's got 2 dogs, and they're named 2 of the reindeer, so I knew what those 2 were, Dasher and Comet. So we had, okay, Cupid. So a couple of the gentlemen came up and said, okay, you forgot this one or you forgot that one. So I says, okay, tell me. So it became like a little joke as to how many I'm going to paint on there, how many to squeeze. But I got the general drawing done, and then I started painting and then filling it in and then adding little embellishments at the end. So it was a fun thing to do. I believe the members enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah.
And that I got into that kind of because of COVID. I have been a professional face painter almost 20 years now, and when COVID hit, we as face painters could not meet, or you couldn't gather,
Yeah.
you couldn't be close. And what do you do with your art then? And one of my good face painting artist friends, Adele, called me and said, "Have you ever painted windows before?" And I said, "Well, I did once for my own, for Easter." And she says, "Well, I've got a call. Would you like to work with me on a job to do some windows for a business in Livonia?" So I did, and it was fun, and it was for Easter, and at Easter, springtime, and it was a good time. And I thought, well, I can do this. So I did a couple more after that, and I think that's word got out that you can do that. You don't have to meet with people. You don't have to be face to face. You're outside doing it, so it was safe. So that's kind of how I got into that. As COVID sort of died down and people were being able to gather and get close again, be it with a mask or not, face painting started picking up again. My busiest time of year is Halloween, and that's crazy for me. Every hour I'm doing faces for up in October, parties and private appointments and all that. And also getting calls to do windows for Christmas at that time.
Okay.
So here in Michigan, as you can tell, our weather is kind of crazy right now. So I'm not doing windows in this cold weather, but I will do them in the spring and in the summer and in the fall. But that's kind of how I got to those windows. I got a call from Mark. So he either saw something that I did for someone else or someone mentioned to him. But my first love, I guess, is face painting.
Yeah.
But I will do windows too, for whatever
your
holiday.
second hobby now.
Yes, but I also do temporary tattoos, and I dabble in henna a little bit too. So artsy.
Called henna.
Pardon me?
What's henna?
Henna is it's body art. It's henna is a plant-based, and then you do drawings on hands, arms, and feet. I'm not real fluent in henna, where I don't do it all the time, but I will do certain designs on the hands and the feet and all of that. That's a fun art form as well, and that's temporary also. Might last 1 to 2 weeks, things like that.
See,
So-
I learned something new again today.
Yeah.
You know, usually we try to find out how people actually started, and I started asking you before, were you always interested in art?
I have been. From a child, I like to draw. I guess I could say I'm better at copying something than coming up with a concept in my own mind. So if I see something, then I can try to recreate it rather than a blank slate and create something. I don't know that, but
That makes sense, yeah.
That's what I liked to do as a child. And I finally, when we got to high school, I had art classes in high school, but then I got pulled from that because I decided to go on a business course. So I got my typing and shorthand and all that, so I didn't get a chance to take art. When my daughter was in 3rd grade, I got her signed up into children's theater here in Wyandotte. Actually, it was Showbiz Kids. Caroline Black was a producer-director at that time. Signed her up for that. And with her theater, the parents had to volunteer. So Caroline was looking for someone to help with the stage makeup, help with the set design and painting. And I volunteered, and I liked it. That's where I got to use my art, you know. So I got called, well, can you paint this backdrop for us? We need, a New York scene, or we need a wood scene, or make these children into little trees, or make them into little animals. And I loved doing that. And I guess I had a little knack for it. And play after play after play, I was doing it. And then one of the moms of the theater kids said, "Have you ever thought about doing this at a party?" And I said, no. And she says, well, I heard face painting is something new. And this was like 15 years ago,
Yeah.
almost 20. And I said, well, she goes, well, would you come and do this for my party? Well, okay, I guess. So I had to figure out, where do I buy this stuff at? So we didn't have a computer at home at that time, so I went to the library and used theirs. You know, what kind of paint can I use or makeup can I use for, you know, faces and that, and found out there was grease-based, which a lot of the theater people use grease paint makeup, and a lot of the clowns do too, or there's water-based. And I found that some of the kids couldn't withstand grease makeup on because it really got in your pores. So I started buying the water-based makeup, and that was gentler on the skin and more easily removed. Did research on that, started practicing with that, did a party, and then I got called to do another party, and then I was doing it for free just to get the experience.
Yeah.
And after about a year doing it for free, it was kind of costing me in the makeup, so I said, I got to start charging. So I started researching again, you know, where can I get more training to learn more? And then I found out there were groups at that time. I can't remember, the Google groups or something, where you could just meet online and discuss, you know, how do you do this? And I found a couple and I joined, and then from there I found out there was conventions to be attended all over the country where you can learn this art form. So I started going to conventions, and I was go to Connecticut. I went to that one about 5 or 6 years in a row, and trained under who I call the master face and body artists. They travel all over the world. In fact, some of the TV shows in Hollywood, some of the instructors that taught us at the conventions were on the TV shows. So, I mean, I was lucky enough to take classes from these wonderful people, Mark Reed and Nick and Brian Wolf and Jay Bautista and Margie Cantor from Chicago, learned from them, and year after year, and taught us about the health and safety issues of that, and just different art forms. And I kind of enjoyed that, so I would bring back new classes under my belt, and so I started doing more face painting. So I think it was 2007 or 2005. No, it was 2007 when I decided to take this seriously and come up with a business name. I'm going to apply myself to this a little bit more because it was part-time then, because I held down a full-time job and did this on the side. So I got a business name, PegFX, and almost 20 years later, I'm still
You're still
doing
Peg
it.
X.
PegFX, yep, FX. So as long as it's fun, that's what I was telling my friends and family, I will continue as long as I still enjoy it. So when it isn't fun, then it's time to stop. So
You always coming up with different color schemes or
well,
whatever?
a lot of that has to do with what's popular with the kids, the
Okay.
birthday parties that I do a lot of, what's new, and the new comics, like Sonic was new, or the Ninja Turtles were brought out another movie, and so I kind of have to keep my antenna up to see what's latest and greatest. Now, Barbie was another movie that was real popular, so pinks, and what can you do with Barbie, and what can you do with our Detroit Lions? Oh my goodness!
Oh,
you know, so I had the opportunity to paint at a few games over the years, coming up with lions' faces and tigers' faces. So it's what's going to be current and popular with the public. You try to practice, and I've practiced boards, I've practiced designs on, and then introduce them at some birthday parties. And some people, when they hire you, they already have a theme in mind, like this is going to be a mermaid party, so I only want you to paint mermaids. And then you go, and then they want Spider-Man and Batman, you know. But so you gotta kind of have a repertoire of basic designs that you can do. So, you know, experience. You know, I could probably paint, you know, like a Spider-Man in my sleep. You know, I've done so many, I've lost count, but I recently did a wedding reception where the children were invited, so I was there to do face painting for the kids, and it was an Irish reception. So we did Irish orange, green, and white designs. So we had a Irish Spider-Man, Irish Batman, we had Irish Mermaid, so little things like that to make it fun for everybody. So
Well,
try to come up with
you
that.
just mentioned something about weddings. Nobody would really think about that unless they had a whole group of little ones going to be there, and they figure we got to get them entertained.
Well, it's common. I've done a lot of weddings where the children are invited. There are, some that I was invited to that no children are invited.
Right.
The children are invited, and they might be in, like their meal might be in a separate room.
Really?
Or whatever. So, but I've been to a few like that, and I've also worked at a few like that. So, yeah, I mean, it's to me, it's like a form of entertainment for the kids, but also people love to watch you do what you do. So I do a couple art fairs. I do the Allen Park Art Fair. I'm from Allen Park, and I do that one each year. I've done that one for a few years, and it's popular. The kids love it. The kids just love it, and pray that the weather is good each time, or if it rains, you don't work. So, but you take a chance each year. And last year we were lucky with no storms. So, yeah. So it takes different forms, parties and store openings. I've done a couple of bakery openings, open houses, and.
So what do you do on that?
Well, they want to draw the customers in.
Yeah.
And face painting is a draw for customers.
Really?
Really, they'll be bringing their kids. Oh, yeah, if it's free to the customers, they will come. So that they hire me, they pay me to do what I do. I do what I do, and the line's out the door usually. So that's another way to use face painting as a draw. Well, the home show's coming up. I think it's this weekend at I think it's Novi. The Expo Center. So, in fact, I was going to call because people, if they want you to come to their booth, if they have kids, I can entertain the kids by doing it while they're talking to the parents. So that's another way to draw customers in. So, but I've seen a lot over the years. So,
but it's interesting to listen to because we sit here not realizing what you've gone through, or your steps and your research, and
oh yeah, it's a newbie starting out. The rates are going to be different because it should be based on your experience, and you get what you pay for. Our rates are all over depending on your level of experience. I have insurance. I've been professionally trained. How many years, going on 20 years of doing this versus someone that might just pick up a brush and hopefully they will only use FDA compliant makeup on a child's face. You can't just go to Walmart and pick up, acrylics for sure doesn't go on skin. It says non-toxic, but that's if you eat it. You don't eat you only use FDA compliant makeup. That's all that I use.
Well, you mentioned something about health. So they had to make you realize what position you have to be careful with your eyes, with your nose.
Oh, certainly.
Everything.
Yeah. And then I use glitter too. Glitter to me, adding glitter to a design really brings it really adds a pizzazz, sparkle to little girls' designs, some of the boys' designs too. But there's cosmetic glitter that we use, and it's made out of polyester and not metal. People that use craft glitter, you don't put that on somebody's face or skin because those have sharp edges, and if that gets in, not that it will get in your eye, but you just want to be careful. Yeah. And then the FDA compliant makeup comes off with soap and water. Again, it's highly pigmented, and so you might need a little more soap to lift up the color with soap, and then it comes off with soap and water.
Okay.
But there's also makeup that I use. Sometimes I'll airbrush zombies and that. You have to do
Really?
layer on layer at Halloween. That's fun. And it's water resistant makeup, so those that go to parties or competitions, they don't want it to. They don't want to sweat it off, so they want it to last a little longer. So I'll use water resistant makeup, so it does last, and put a sealer on top of it.
Wow.
So we had to train in that as well. So depending on what you're looking for when you call, see if we
Yeah.
got, if I can help you with what you're looking for to do that based on
Where
what
do you
you
get
want.
your makeup, though?
A lot of companies. I try to shop local, although there's nowhere local
Right.
anymore for here in Michigan. I can send away. There's a company called Just Paint in Kalamazoo. And that's the closest. Shipping's cheaper from Michigan to Michigan. I do also shop from a company in Connecticut that she was hosting our conventions for years, the Paint and Party Place, and then also Silly Farm in Florida. She's been in business for many, many years and stocks all the brands, Silly Farm, everything theater, makeup and prosthetics and everything you could think of, so all three of those companies are wonderful. So there's nothing you can go to a store and buy. We used to have Why Not costumes here.
Right.
And I used to, if I ran out of my Maron white or black or green, whatever, I'd go up there and she'd have it. But they're no longer there.
No.
So,
Nope. It's another
Yeah.
building after many. Yeah, I knew Doris, too. She was great.
yeah.
But time changes, and we do, too, and everything else. So. All right, for somebody that said, okay, I'm going to have a party, how do I get in touch with you?
Okay, well, you can look at my work if you want to see my work. It's on Facebook, PegFX Face Painting. My number is 313-204-6644. Leave a message with your date, the time. I have a 2-hour minimum, and see how many kids you're looking to be entertained, or is it just a private appointment? If you're going to a costume party and you want to enhance whatever your costume is with makeup, I can do that as well. So give me a call at 313-204-6644, and we'll go from there.
Okay. And if you decide to have some decoration on your window.
Yes, that too. When the weather gets better. Unless it's on the inside, I don't mind that. But yeah, Valentine's windows, Easter windows. I did a restaurant in Dearborn. We did the American flag across his whole storefront. This was a year ago, 2 years ago, I can't think, with in remembrance of the 13 soldiers that were killed. So with the fallen soldier symbols, I did across the whole storefront. And I remember painting that. It took me 2 days to do that one, but I could not, within 10 minutes, the horns honking, acknowledging that. I thought, that really touched my heart to people acknowledging the U.S. flag across, painting that.
yeah.
So, yeah.
But that took some dealing, too. Like you said, you had to almost have something in front of you to get every detail.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's where the research comes in, to try to see what would work here and things like that. So,
Wow. Okay. So you're on the go, but you said before we came on that you're going to try to get some private time for yourself
Yes.
to enjoy, right?
yes. Yeah, like I have tickets to go see Shen Yan and Pretty Woman, and so I got calls for those dates, and I'm going to still use my tickets, and then I'll have to work something else out for the calls. But if you know what date you're looking for right now, call me right away, because dates do fill up for one reason or the other. So,
Hey, it's great, though, that people know about you and your quality of work, that they do call you back and forth
they
all
do.
the time.
They do. And I appreciate every one of them.
Okay. But your new venture, I got to see when the weather gets great and some people have you make some paintings on their, windows. Do you do walls, though, too?
I haven't yet. That
Not
would be
yet.
first. Yeah, I would rather do temporary art that you
Okay.
could, because if you're going to do a wall, that's going to be there for a long time. You have to
Right.
make sure you like that.
Yeah.
So a mural. Yeah,
Well-
I've not done a mural yet.
Okay. But you never, that's why when I had talked to Mark at the Legion, I says, are they going to actually take this off? And he says, well, yeah. And I said, that's not fair. I said, because an artist, not, you have your board or whatever you're working
Yes.
with, you can see it after you've accomplished
Yes.
it, you know.
And that's what I had to get used to from face painting, because it's only going to last you till they take a shower or take a bath. It's gone. All
Right.
that work and it's gone.
Yeah.
But enjoy it.
Just take pictures of it.
But the look on the kid's face when they see their face in the mirror, oh my goodness, that's my payment right there. They're just mesmerized. They're a new character, a new person. That's why I do what I do. I love it
Yeah,
so
great.
much like that.
Great.
Yeah.
Hey, before we go, Rich has got a minute or so video for us to get attention. Another person's going to be coming on in another week or so, and it's something that I didn't know about. And I'm here in Wyandotte, and they're in Trenton. So maybe we can go to that before we close off?
Open Book Theater is a intimate professional theater right here in the heart of Trenton. We do contemporary plays that make you feel and make you think and laugh and maybe cry. You're never more than 4 feet from the action. And it's just a wonderful place to come and experience a story told live right in front of your eyes. Stories are the way that we connect to each other, right? We tell stories to get to know each other. We listen to the stories of other people's lives. And so to me, theater is the most alive way of telling a story, because it is actors right in front of you, living and breathing. The audience is a part of it. Their reactions are just as important as what's happening on stage. Open Book is close to home. It is professional entertainment right down the street, right where you live and work and play. There's wonderful restaurants nearby. We are a night out without a long drive. You can see high quality, professional, fascinating plays right here in your neighborhood. It is the cost of a movie ticket with some popcorn and soda, and you can come and see live theater.
Okay, that's going to be next week, right? Yep. Anyway, I appreciate you coming. Art takes many different forms, doesn't it?
It certainly does.
And keep in touch with us.
I will. Thank you
Yeah.
for having me.
Yeah, give me a.
Okay, thank you.
You take care.
Thank you.
Okay. I hope you enjoy this, and we'll see you next time on Up, Down, and Around Town. Bye now.